Give me Randy Moss.
Okay.
Randy, single season greatest fantasy of all time back in 07. Guy caught touchdowns like it was his job. It was his job. I haven't seen anything or anybody make it look that easy. And again, jump ball or you got to throw a ball up. I got one pass to complete. I want him on the other end of it. Give me Randy Moss.
So T.O.'s on my mind, but I got Julio Jones at 1.
Over T.O.?
Yes.
Over Rice?
Yes.
Wow.
I'm going Julio Jones. I think he's just like when they say Megatron for Calvin Johnson, he was that. Like he was a force. He would find a way to get a lot of yards, didn't score a lot of touchdowns, I get it. But like
caught a lot of balls.
Caught a lot of balls. So I'm counting on him. I think he's gonna be my number 1 pick.
All right. If you're gonna leave Jerry Rice in the 2 spot, I have to go Jerry Rice here.
Fine.
I'll thank you for your charity and give me the GOAT at number 2.
Number 2, I'm going T.O. I think Terrell Owens absolutely deserves the credit. What he did, with Philly, 49ers, you name it, Cowboys. He was a guy that was just, you could count on him getting a lot of touches, obviously, in the backfield, but you could also score touchdowns. And I feel like his quarterbacks absolutely loved him because he was always open.
Yeah.
T.O. was a dominant force down the field. Give me T.O. absolutely at number 2.
I'll take consistency with Marvin Harrison, number 3. Just pencil him in for 100 catches every year. Him and Peyton Manning dominated fantasy for a long time.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison was an absolute beast with Peyton Manning.
Long time.
Larry Fitzgerald, talk about durability, talk about how smooth he was, even with the quarterbacks that he had. Obviously, had Anquan Bolden alongside of him to relieve him from a lot of clutter. But I will say, Larry Fitzgerald is probably one of the most underappreciated wide receivers in all of NFL history.
Reach. I'll have to take Megatron at 4. I don't think that's saying. It's a hard choice right there. That guy is an absolute beast. Wish he played longer. There was a couple of years there where he was the most dominant receiver in the game.
Yeah.
And he did it all on a really bad Lions team. Keep saying that, don't we?
No,
really bad Lions
we
team.
do. It was bad. But I'm stealing your Cowboy. I'm going Michael Irvin.
Yep.
I think Irvin actually maybe should be higher on this list, but I feel like he was a guy that you could just count on grabbing balls. Right?
I'll tell you what about Irvin. So he to your point, he didn't need to put up as crazy of his stats as others did.
Yeah.
He didn't throw the ball quite as much in that area. They had Emmett, but he was an absolute beast. That ball comes his way. He's coming down on it.
Yeah, his catch ratio is like top 10, I believe, in all time. So I'm going Michael Irvin at 4.
Circuit Square. I got to go Torrey Holt, a little off the board at number 5. Kind of a underrated guy, but he was on those greatest show on earth turf teams. Literally was top 5 receiver for probably a decade plus.
Yes.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Give me Torrey Holt.
Yeah, Torrey Holt's great. That's Bruce's greatest show on turf. I'm going at number 5, Antonio Brown. I think Antonio Brown had an unbelievable stretch, even with all his controversy off the field. He's got to count on again. Like if we're talking about fantasy, he scored touchdowns.
He might be the best Twitterer of all time too. But yeah, seriously, he was 2 or 3 years and they had just some unreal numbers.
Yeah, I mean there was games where he was putting up almost 200 receiving yards and like 2 touchdowns. Like he was the guy that Ben Roethlisberger absolutely loved, and he was the number 1 guy in my eyes in fantasy throughout that stretch.
I would say he was the number 1 guy off the board a couple years in a row.
Yeah.
And there was a time I remember with him and Julio, and then he kind of distanced himself from Julio just because of the touchdowns ratio. But
big time.